How much does Ryan get to keep of all this?
Oh, be careful, Ryan.
How much of all this fortune does Ryan actually get to keep? Careful what you wish for, because it looks like Ryan Kaji's overly ambitious parents have finally hit the wall. It might sound dramatic, but honestly, this downfall has been years in the making. The empire they built on Ryan's childhood charm and boundless energy is now collapsing, faster than a Jenga tower at a kid's birthday party. And the moment it all started to crumble, a casual $10 million disaster that many would call karma. All thanks to the cinematic train wreck titled Ryan's World, the movie. So yeah, grab your popcorn, assuming you haven't already finished it watching this train wreck unfold. Movie clip moment. Open quote. What kind of signal is that? I don't like this, Aiden. We have to escape Dark Titan's lair. I'm the big brother. I know what's best. The twins need to go home before they get us in even more trouble. Close quote. But let's rewind for a second. Who exactly is Ryan Kaji, better known as Ryan's World? And why does his story matter so much? Ryan was once one of YouTube's biggest child stars. At just 4 years old, when most kids are still learning how to color inside the lines, Ryan was unboxing toys and pulling in billions of views. His parents quickly realized they'd struck gold. Before long, Ryan's World wasn't just a channel. It was an empire. Merchandise? Check. Sponsorships? Double check. Entire toy aisles dedicated to Ryan-branded products? Absolutely. Fast forward a few years. Ryan is now 13. The same kid who once lit up while playing with toy trains now looks bored reviewing products he probably hasn't touched in years. The spark is gone. The views are falling, and his original audience has grown up. Meanwhile, his parents are clinging to the brand like it's their only lifeline. At this point, Ryan seems less like their son, and more like the CEO of Kaji Corp. And people have started to notice. Scroll through any comment section and you'll find the same message everywhere. Open quote, let bro retire already, close quote. But instead of slowing down, his parents keep milking the brand for every last drop, which is exactly why people have started calling them greedy. The $10 million disaster, Ryan's World, the movie, Titan Universe Adventure. This film was supposed to be the family's crowning achievement, a global box office launch combining toys, superheroes, and comedy. So what went wrong? Pretty much everything. Despite a massive $10 million budget, the film earned barely $600,000 worldwide. Yes, $600,000. For perspective, my bank account might have fewer zeros, but at least it isn't embarrassed to exist. This wasn't a small YouTube upload either. It was released in international theaters, where you could buy a ticket, sit down with overpriced popcorn, and enjoy an empty theater all to yourself. TikTok quickly became the movie's unofficial graveyard. People filmed themselves sitting alone in deserted screenings. In one of those videos, Ryan's parents even commented, open quote, thanks for watching, close quote. So sure, they might be greedy, but at least they're polite. Still, let's be real. If the movie had been a hit, they'd be too busy counting profits to leave comments on TikTok. Where did it all go wrong? The plot is a tangled mess of sibling pranks, superhero cliches, and random storylines that go nowhere, like a penguin trying to solve algebra to save the planet. Critics tore it apart for its weak writing and nonsense pacing, calling it more of a parody than a movie. Ryan, now a teenager, is clearly too old to convincingly play a little kid hero. His performance feels stiff and forced. The animation looks cheap. Fight scenes resemble off-brand Pokemon battles rather than exciting superhero showdowns. The villains? Barely developed. The supposed main villain turns out to be just another sidekick. Even the climax has zero real stakes. Ryan's sisters, who play superheroes, spend most of the film trapped in laughably bad situations that even Scooby-Doo villains would be ashamed of. And while the movie was aimed at kids, its lazy twists and cringy jokes failed to connect with anyone, especially the fans who grew up and moved on long ago. In short, the messy plot, outdated concept, and painfully awkward execution cemented the movie's reputation as a box office disaster. The critics' verdict. Critics didn't hold back. Reviews ranged from underwhelming influencer movie to straight-up cinematic junk. One reviewer summed it up perfectly. Open quote, this is what happens when underage YouTube stars with no acting experience have parents who fund a vanity project driven by greed. Close quote. Harsh? Maybe. Accurate? Definitely. And once again, the same comment followed the story everywhere online. Open quote, let bro retire. Close quote. At this point, it's practically a meme. And unless Ryan's World either evolves or ends, those comments aren't going anywhere. At this rate, we'll probably see a tweet in 2036 that says, open quote, bro finally retired, close quote. The real problem. His parents. Here's where things get serious. Over time, Ryan's parents have turned their son into a brand, a walking corporation. Sure, his fame gave him opportunities most kids can only dream about, but what did it cost? He spent almost his entire childhood in front of a camera, promoting toys and pretending to love every second of it. Now that he's older, instead of letting him move on, his parents seem determined to keep cashing in, even if it means forcing him into cringeworthy projects like this movie. In one interview, his parents proudly shared that Ryan had gotten into snowboarding. Open quote. Last year we went to Japan 4 times for snowboarding. Close quote. Sounds fun, right? Except you can just imagine them brainstorming their next video idea. Open quote. Ryan's extreme snowboarding adventures. Close quote. Oh wait, they've already done that. This kid can't even enjoy a hobby without a camera following him around. Time to let go. The reality is, Ryan's audience has grown up. The kids who once adored him are now on TikTok and Fortnite. And the new generation? They're not nearly as invested. But Ryan's parents are stuck in the past, holding on to a brand that peaked years ago. Here's the thing. They don't need to. They've already made hundreds of millions of dollars. They could retire tomorrow, buy a private island, and never film another unboxing video again. So, why keep pushing Ryan to create content he's clearly outgrown? The flop of Ryan's World, the movie, should have been a wake-up call. The brand has run its course. It's time to let Ryan live like a normal teenager, whether that means snowboarding, studying engineering, or just hanging out without a camera in his face. He's earned that right, because at the end of the day, the real failure isn't the movie, it's his parents' refusal to let go. Sure, they built an empire, but at what cost? Ryan deserves more than to be treated like a human ATM. And while this movie flop might not ruin them financially, it's pretty clear that their greed is finally catching up. Summary of edits made. Replaced slow-motion crash, train wreck unfold. Changed penguin scribbling math equations. Penguin trying to solve algebra to save the planet. Adjusted cringy. Cringy. Replaced walking ATM, human ATM. Everything else is untouched. Would you like me to do a final readability plus